Hello everybody, and we are live for ACC Career Mod here at Brands Hatch, round number 19 of the championship. And now we are live for qualifying session here at Brands Hatch. It's going to be 15 minutes qualifying session, and then we'll move on to a 45-minute race. It sure will be a great qualifying as well as the race. It's currently 24 drivers in this session for the qualifying, whereas we are going to see these cars, these GT4 amazing cars, go around the circuit once again and again, as these drivers have to get some sponsor targets as well as some they're focusing on their own championship race as well. They're currently focusing on everybody to begin their flying laps, and there goes Taylor wide onto the grass, really struggling to keep it on track. And they're a little bit of a struggle for him, but I'm sure, just like him, everybody else currently out on the circuit, looking to begin their flying laps, begin their fast laps, and do everything they can as quick as they want to, as Goswell is currently in the gravel, stuck there. For some reason his car is glitching up there, but Goswell currently we are on board with. Now car number 29, Mercedes AMG. He's going to do his all to give it what he has, what the pace he's got at Brands Hatch. Obviously these drivers are doing everything they can all week long, as Harry's going to do everything he can in his AM GT4 car. Mercedes currently just making his way slowly through these corners, but now as soon as he gets through all over that finish line, as soon as he begins his flying lap, it's gonna get real, it's gonna get fiery. As soon as he is in that cockpit doing all he can, all he needs to do to get going and put a lap that's gonna count for him. And that was a little snap for him, I think, and the Audi ahead should be moving aside, but I don't think so, because if he himself is going to be on an out for flying lap as well, he would not like to do that. But as we've seen, we've got drivers fit. So we've got drivers having completed their laps. The top 7 have completed their laps. The gaps are quite big. We're having a look at everybody around to see what they have. At the moment we are only able to switch to a few drivers at the moment. Now looking at Mark Mass, currently P6 for him with we cannot see the lap time though, but let's have a look at it to see if we can see their lap times. Having a look at everybody at the moment, with only a few of the drivers having set a lap time on board, but not many of them, as currently the best lap for our fastest driver is 139.4, which is going to be the benchmark for everybody else to beat and everybody else to have a look at and have a time for themselves. Not a big lap though, as we are seeing drivers completing their laps and their flying laps as quickly as they can, as some of them obviously competing before ones or the other. Sorry, my bad. The fastest lap is currently 131.5. There was something wrong information I was having a look at. So everybody around, and then Uzi Boy, the driver that currently leads the driver's title with many points to his name, is currently in second place. That becomes first for him at the moment, as Hanak takes back the fastest position. That is gets his time back to 130.9, as now everyone would have to fight for their own positions, as now we see everyone just completing their first laps, first flyers to register time on board, with only 15 of them have a lap time, and it's 24 of them in here. Nine and a half minutes remain in the session. 9.5 minutes still remaining. Still a chance for everybody to improve. With now 9 minutes. A lot of time remaining still. We'll see who's going to be able to improve and who would not be. Currently on board with Johnny Ashley not having a lap time to his name, but he's not far from the finish line there, which is going to be coming closer to very soon. As soon as he does that, he's going to have a lap time, and we'll see how quick he's able to go though. And across that line for Ashley, that is going to be P13 for him. Car number 9, the Alpine, P13 for him at the moment. 2.7 seconds down on the quickest time in the session so far. I was saying, cars now, more and more cars in the session getting the lap times on to themselves, putting a time on board, putting a time that they want to see themselves get quicker on. And now currently we're looking ahead to Harry Ezri's car there, P18 for him. Harry now just coming towards that finish line. He's doing all he can now in this session. Does he improve now? We'll have a look at it. He does not. He might have improved by time, but doesn't improve by position at least. His last lap 1:35s, and his fastest is in the 1:34s. Maybe he tries to go one more time. He has to go one more time in this car, and obviously there's 7 minutes remaining in the session, so many minutes remain, so that is not a problem. As you see, cars coming in the pits, cars coming into the pits, and some of them in the pits, some of them staying out on track. Obviously you want to go into the pits, you want to get a new set of tires on, you said maybe repair any damages you've got, go back out on track. As you see Brown going on that grass, still find the grip to go quick as he's doing it so far. Ben Brown at the moment, he's just making his way past now onto the final corner. He goes very hard on that grass and onto the gravel. That is definitely going to be some time loss for him as he just stops now onto the side of the track there and jumps into the pits there. That definitely was some lap for him, but that is not going to count anything for him because that did not matter at all because he got nothing. And now Harry goes P2. That is a very big improvement from him, as previous one would have been just a cool down lap. As he gets a proper flying faster lap, that is going to put him P2, just about 3/10 down in the quickest time. And now this qualifying session is all shaping up towards the ending minutes of it. With just 5 minutes now remaining in the session, and then we obviously move on to 45-minute race. Still only got 21 drivers setting a lap time, still a few, 2 to 3 of them not having a lap time on board for themselves, but definitely the drivers like Harry, Uzibai, Figgins and Brown and Ackerman, all in that top 6, top 10 indeed, will be looking to improve, or in fact anybody within that 1 second of the quickest time would looking to be improving as quickly as they can in this session. Obviously everyone wants to be having the time that they could see themselves to the top and to the very top positions on the grid when the race gets started, and when the beginnings of a race start. Obviously you want to be at the top, but then the qualifying session is there where you have to do it, and where you want to do it. We'll just have to see what we've got as we just get a little past this menu now. But just having a look at Brown now. Is he going to find any improvements to that finish line? Does he find any improvements? He certainly does not in terms of position, but that would have been just an out lap for him to go around and do a lap, which is going to be obviously a quicker one, a faster one, a one that sees him go quickest, a one that sees him go the fastest than his previous lap time. And Ackerman is going to give it a go, but doesn't quite happen for him. About 2/10 down on his previous lap time, and he will have to go one more time around the circuit, around this great Brands Hatch. I think not a long, certainly a long lap. About 1 minute 30.9 is the quickest time around here. But still, you got to do it. You got to put a time. You got to put a lap that is going to count for you. A lap that you would definitely want to be the quickest. A lap that is going to catch you where you want to be. And now it is going to be Patrick, currently in 12th place, would want to be improving. The drivers ahead of him he would want them to get aside of him, but definitely he would try and everything he gets. Still far away from that finish line. That is going to see him get to finish his qualifying lap. What about Brown though? He was very slow on his previous lap, which obviously would have been a cool down lap. A lap that was a simple cool down lap, which wasn't going to be much. But what about one this time now? We're having to look at it inside from his car. Where is he going to put it? Is he going to count this lap? Is he going to put a lap that is going to see him go to the top 5? What is it going to be from him to that finish line? Are we going to see him improve? He does not improve at all. He definitely surely tried improving, but he couldn't quite do it. 1:32.8, almost a second of his fastest and quickest time, which he would want to improve on, massively, but doesn't quite do it so far. Catching up back with the action, trying to get, and there you go. We're still jumping up in this overlays currently, just jumping up randomly on the cars for some reason, but trying it our all. Currently Mapple is going to reject it. Mapple going to do everything he can with a time previously having done an out lap. He's going to try and do a quicker lap this time to where his previous one, he doesn't quite get it. Still his quick lap for his fastest time previously is going to be the quickest time. What about Petakoska here? He's far away from that finish line. He's just pretty much begun his lap as he's going to come into the pits now. What about Taylor now? We've got to be on board with him just right there, and he's going to get his lap quickest this time. He's quickest as he's been the whole session, and that's going to be P13 for him only. Robin Taylor, 1:32.5. He'll still need 1.6 seconds or more to get to the top, to get to the drivers that are at the top. What about Ashley then? We saw him improve earlier, improve massively, but this time doesn't quite happen for him though. A 10th down on his lap, and now with just 40 seconds remaining in this session, it's going to be interesting to see. We've still got one more driver that hasn't got a lap. He hasn't got a lap at registered at all, so that is going to be he's going to be starting from the bottom of it. But for how long? As it's now 20 seconds as we see David Jonas in the grass, and that's pretty much going to be qualifying over for him, and that is going to be the position he's going to start the race in, unless someone behind him improves, and he's going to fall even behind the So now that is going to be it in the qualifying session. Everybody would now be just coming towards the end. We see drivers into the pits. What about Robin Taylor? Does he want to be improving? He improved on the previous one. He has the one and final chance to improve and see himself go to even inside the top 10 or even better. He does not improve at all. And that is going to be it for him. And we see drivers get slowly now entering the pits, now entering taking the checkered flag, and that could well be their fine last and final laps. What about Figgins now? Does he improve? He goes P4 though, as he's just making his way past those final lines now. So at the moment, just 2 minutes is going to be the wait for everybody to finish their laps, to do their final rounds, and we go into a 45-minute race, which is going to be exciting and really amazing to see, as the qualifying session is just coming to an end, as Harry Goswell has put the fastest and quickest time in the session with a time of 1:30.922, with Hanak not far behind at all, just 40 milliseconds in that time. He's just far away from, not away from him at all. That is going to be a really exciting start, and even beginnings from the race as well.
You see my message? It'll be on assists, I think. Still there. It's still there, by the way. You might have to leave and rejoin.
Now the racing is going to be beginning on, as we're already on the line, but we will leave the session and join once again, as we're just going to be having to turn some settings on and off, which obviously were not effective. So we're going to do connect back again. We're just waiting to get back into the session and get on to a racing action, as we're just waiting for that 45-minute race here at Brands Hatch. We had a fantastic qualifying session with Harry going at the top, well, at the time of 1:30.9, with the driver in P2 not far away as well. As we just get into the session, we're going to get underway as soon as we have the chance to do so, as drivers are running behind the pace car at the moment. There we go. We are back into the session once again. We're going to get going on now. Having a look at the drivers as David is currently in the pits for some reason, which maybe he's got a penalty that we don't know about. But we're going to have a look at it now as Harry is just currently on. Is it green flags? We'll get to know. I don't think so, because these drivers are obviously driving slow around, going slowly, trying to maintain the temperature, in the tyres and get going well. But now, as it looking like, obviously they're maintaining their lines, maintaining their position at this point, which they obviously need for the race start, and they need the temperatures to be optimal. They need the grip to be maximum, which is going to be exciting to see. When is Harry going to go for it? When is he going to start? And when will be the time? Obviously, when it's going to be green flags, that is going to be a perfect momentum. But who's going to be able to get it the better one? Who's going to be able to get the best start we can see? Is it going to be Hennek, or is it going to be Harry there? It's going to be green flags just moments before we're through that finish line, and that is going to be now, as Harry's going to try his 100% best to defend his P1 position just as they go into turn 1. Harry's able to do that, as Hanak is going to just hanging there, as well as Userboy is going to try and defend as well. But now, as Hanak is going to go for it down the inside for a moment, and now he's not holding back at all. He's going to go for it, but Harry's going to try and defend. But for how long, though, he's going to be able to do that? And he's so far kept his position back again, but Hanak might have a chance at him, as Harry goes a little bit wide, and then he's going to come back at him as drivers behind, as well as Userboy currently leads the championship. The driver, we're seeing him, as we've seen, for some reason we're seeing these overlays and having these drivers going back, but now Goswell is able to defend, and he's able to keep his car ahead and into first position so far. He's kept it so far, he's kept it clean, he's kept it nice, and he's going to lead behind. But the rest of the grid as well, we're going to see fight. We're going to see position switches as down the inside. We're going to see Woss go for it as Eckermann pushed wide. He's going to fight him back. He's going to try and fight him back. He's going to try and get his positions back, but doesn't quite happen for him. He's going to do all he can, but doesn't seem to be the case for him so far, as he's kept it up around the outside. He's going to go for it. He's going to try and go for it, but he doesn't quite make it though. But what about everybody else as well? Everyone behind him as well. Everything's close. The field is very, very close. The battles are very close all around. We're going to have a look at the rest of the field as well, as we see the driver starting in the pits, and as well Jonas the slowest, as now Harry for the first, and the starting lap of the race so far has kept his lead, has kept his position to himself. But for how long though? When is it going to be the time we see Hannah go for it? When is it going to be time we see Lucas go for it? Uzi go for it as well. What about Ben Brown? They're not far behind those guys as well. So is in William as well. Everybody very close. The field is pretty much bunched up. And many positions, as we're going to see, between Lily and Voss there. That is very close, battling around. Who's going to be late on the brakes? I think that is going to be Lily. He's going to try and keep his position and move that as well. And now Eckermann's going to come back behind Voss as well. And he's going to take that position as well. We see many positions switching between drivers, and Lily's just moving away from these guys. The battle now is pretty much on between Ackerman, Voss, and Mappel, not far behind as well. That is going to be really interesting, as Ashley is not far behind those guys as well. That is a big slide from Johnny Ashley there, just on the exit. So I think the rear of his car just maybe not having enough grip and enough traction there that he would have needed. As we're going to see Lucas now once again very close to Harry's lead, once again very close, but he doesn't quite go for it. I think these time races, sometimes you're just waiting for the very final moments of the race to go for it. Obviously no mandatory pit stops in this race, but that doesn't always mean the driver you want to chase would stay uncautious, or would stay not trying to defend, or would let you past very smoothly or very thoroughly. And there is William there going very, very wide, and that is going to open the chance Sorry, that was Ben Brown indeed going very wide. So that is going to be open a chance for William there to try and get ahead, try and get that position that he's needing to get, the position that he wants, the position that he's needing for himself and for the rest of the race as well. What about Brown? How good is he going to be able to defend? How good is he going to be to defend his position as he goes very wide once again? He went so wide on that grass. I was surprising how he's kept his lead. He once again goes a little bit wide, but definitely that grass would have not have any grip at all. And that is going to be Williams through, and Williams is going to get Pete getting through to 4th position, just ahead of Ben Brown now. That was a good move. That was pretty much a gifted position from Ben Brown there, as he just went very wide on the grass, and that just allowed really easily William to take that position and take the 4th place to himself, but obviously not far away before we're going to see Ben Brown attacking back, and we are about to see that already on the inside line into 1. That doesn't quite become successful for him though, but he's trying his best, he's trying his all, as now Williams goes wide a little there. We see cars, a lot of cars on that exit taking that curb, but then if they go wide, obviously that gravel, that grass does not play along, does not play how they want it to be. About now 5.5 minutes have passed in this race, and we're going to look at the rest of the grid as well. Actually, currently Johnny P10, ahead of him is Kelly in 9th, Voss in 8th. Voss lost, remember, they were all having their battles, but Voss losing a few positions to the cars ahead. And having a look at the rest of the grid as well. It's bunched up, but the battle at the top seems to be the best one. It's currently David Jonas. I think he started in the pit lane, if I'm not wrong. Is just currently having on. I think in qualifying it was 24 cars. At the moment I see 23, 22. Maybe they've retired, maybe they've crashed out of this race. And I think Harry so far is doing a fantastic job to keep his lead, to keep his position. He's been able to do that since the start of the race. Currently I'm in on 3 laps done, and that is going to be Harry once again. I think Lucas is going to try and get put him under pressure, the pressure that Harry does not need at this moment, but surely UZ at the moment currently leading by fine margin, 1.37 seconds to the car beyond. At the moment Williams has been able to keep his position, the position that he took from Ben Brown there. A mistake been made, and that hasn't made William look back at all since then. And now Ackerman currently in 6th place, Lilly in 7th place, goes very wide there, touching the grass, and that is going to always going to be meaning less grip. Grass on those tyres does not always feel good. Obviously clear weather throughout the race. Track temperature currently 42 degrees Celsius. Yellow flags in some parts of the track, green in all the others. But we're going to see what is the close of battle at this moment. We are looking at, is it going to be Ackerman and Lilly's fight that we want to be seeing, or is it going to be Ackerman and Brown's fight we're going to be seeing, as Williams has made a huge gap of over 1 second between himself and Lilly there. And I think at the moment the gap which is less than half a second throughout the whole race, the whole track, is these two. They've been close to each other the whole race, close the whole way around, but haven't quite made it a move. Lucas hasn't quite went for it. Harry's been able to defend, Harry's been able to keep the position, but for how long though? There might just be time now for Lucas to try and go for it. There might be time. He thinks that it's time for me to overtake, it's time for me to send a dive bomb or send a move that he's been waiting for, that he would obviously need for this whole race. It's not the whole race, obviously the end of the race, as we're going to switch back on to see any other close battles we're having a look at. There could be this one though, which is very close now. These few cars, which is now Taylor, Daniel, Robin, Taylor and Daniel there, as now he's going to do everything, Robin, to try and overtake, try and make a move out of it, try and switch the position if he thinks he's got better pace, if Daniel thinks he's got better pace. Sorry, it's Mark Mass, it's not Daniel. Daniel is right behind Taylor there, but Taylor is just closer to Mark Mass. He's going to try and get that position. He's going to try and pressurize him, try and pressurize his position, his race there, and really put him under pressure. And we are already seeing that as Robin Taylor is going to go on the inside of Mark Mass there and switch into 15th position. That is going to be position, and that is going to be a place up for Taylor. That was always looking like Taylor was going to go take it. Taylor was looking like he was more faster than him, and he was going to take that sooner or later now. And now we're going to see him try and attack Jay ahead of him. That's going to be interesting to see for how long is it going to take Taylor, though, because Taylor so far it looks like he's got better pace than all the cars ahead, but for how long though? Then now we're going to see a position switch. Are we going to see a move done by Taylor on Jay as well? We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, really close there. Taylor thought for it, but doesn't quite make it. But now he surely will. Joe goes very, very wide. He surely wouldn't have wanted there, but he goes very wide, and that is going to allow Taylor through. And that is one more position for Robin Taylor. He's on fire at the moment. Two positions within a few minutes of this race, and that is really amazingly seen. As that is Mark's currently Turbinov getting 10 plus seconds of penalties in this race, as now this looks very close between the two as well. It has looked like this for the entirety of the race, but hasn't quite made the move. Has Lucas. He's currently got the faster lap between these two, and this seems to be the closest chance for him. There might be a chance for him there, but Harry just manages to defend, and manages to defend very, very nicely and amazingly there, which is going to be allowing him to defend. But for how long? No more chance once again. Lucas thought for it, but didn't quite go for it. I think that there always is a chance for you. You think you're going to go for it, but you don't always have to go for it, because if you one wrong move, you could end your whole race with a bit of a damage that you don't want on the car, or the car just doesn't like it. Because if you get that could be whole hard work undone, and that could be race over, night over for you. But one great move could well see you a position up, and this well might be a chance for him there. He's going to go for it this time around the outside, but Harry just brakes later, brakes after him. Before him now, but Lucas is going to go for it. He waited on the previous corner and has to go for it now. And your new race leader, Lucas Hanak, is going to be taking the lead here at Brands Hatch once again. But Harry's not going to leave him behind. Harry's not going to give him a chance. That's for sure. But unless Harry makes a few mistakes as he goes very wide there on the grass, and a few more mistakes like that could well see Lucas pull away, and as soon as he pulls away, that could well be race over for Harry. Surely not race over, but victory chances could be over for him. But we'll see what is going to be the case, as Lucas now takes the lead in this race for the first time since the start of it. Once again, a driver inside the top four has got a penalty, and that is Williams. Got a penalty to himself, as UZ currently not a big gap to him at all. I think he's actually not got a big gap at all. Okay, about 2.6 seconds, or in fact 1.9 to the car behind. He's got a quite big gap. He's in pretty much in his own race, as we could see. As I said, as soon as Hanak has free air, doesn't have any dirty air ahead, doesn't have anyone stopping him from going any faster. Could we see him go quicker, as he has the fastest lap of the race. The gap currently just a little bit more than half a second, but for how long though? Is it going to increase, or is it going to be decreasing? As we're going to look at the rest of the grid as well. I don't see any gap less than 1 second at this point, apart from this, which is between... Fantastic, I think now Jake Spinner is Robin Taylor has overtaken Jake Spinner as well. He's having a good race, that's for sure. Currently P13, 6.3 seconds the gap to the car ahead. He's going to try and decrease that. He's going to try and make his position stronger, try and obviously not make it harder for himself, trying to get more points, more positions gained as much as he can. But for how long, we're having a look at this little battle between Ashley and Kelly. That is going to shape out nice as well. 6/10 the gap currently at the moment, but that is going to decrease as Kelly is gaining on him. Kelly is just improving in one or the other parts, but then obviously Johnny's got a chance to improve and go quicker as well. He wants to defend his position. He doesn't want to give it away at all, and he surely he doesn't want to give it away, doesn't need to give it away, and he will have to fight for it. At the moment he is doing it, not making any mistakes, but as soon as one mistake from Johnny there, Kelly's going to go for it, and that's for sure. Any racing driver, no one's going to leave if you make a mistake. Half an hour now remains in this race, about 29.5 minutes. So far, I haven't done 15 minutes having passed over the race. It's been really nice. It's been fewer battles, but we're seeing now that is going to be interesting to see. The gap currently shows 9/10, but it'll be a lot less, I think, at this time and part of this race. As Noah Ackerman is very, very close to Ben, and that could well be positions VC. Ben earlier made a mistake and lost position to Williams. To William, and that he's seen that, and he's far behind. He was not able to catch up back to him. And sure, Ackerman maybe seems to be a bit of a quicker driver than Brown as well. And as soon as Ben makes another mistake, or Ben probably seems to be slower, and Ackerman goes for it. Ackerman thinks to go for it, move in a quick position switch for him. We'll see. Ben could be losing another position, but for how long he's going to be able to defend, it all depends. Obviously this track not wide enough to overtake easily, so to create a chance to create a moment for an overtake is going to take Ackerman's expertise as well. And now the gap obviously less than half a second, less than 5/10. Both going a little wide there, but obviously they're just taking that curve, taking that little part of that track, which obviously allows them a little bit of a grip and go as wide as they can on that little line. Just watching that from the rear wing of Brown, watching Ackerman there. Ackerman now trying to desperately trying to go for find a move, find a position, find a chance where he needs to make this overtake done, where he needs to get his position up and move himself up into the top 5 of the race. More time, still giving it all, still doing the best they can. Ackerman not quite confident, not quite finding a chance to overtake Brown at all. Having a look at the rest of the grid once again, the gap now, Hanak is seeming to be moving away. As you've seen, drivers making pit stops, drivers switching positions out there as well. As now we're having a look at it, and that is going to be Hanak increasing that gap, still not that much increase actually. It shows about 7/10, but obviously it updates every lap, so it doesn't quite update lively. It updates every lap, every single time they cross that finish line, whatever the gap is. That's what it shows there, and shortly this time it's very less, it's a lot less than it shows, and that is about 5/10 there, but could well be a chance for Harry once again. Obviously overtaking not that easy on a probably a narrow track like this, but for how long though? Obviously 25 minutes now passed, so as soon as we get to those ending parts, maybe we're going to see some aggressive moves from all around the grid, all around the drivers, and all around everyone by David, currently P20 19. It becomes obviously someone in the bits. He's overtaken Lily currently as Coxa at the moment in 18th. Just moving apart these grid, and this is really close between Daniel and Jay there. Daniel could well be finding a way to get past Daniel Vegas Jay there, but doesn't quite go for it. Is it going to happen now? Jay might be on the verge of losing another position. We're seeing it happening there, but who's going to be late on the brakes? And it is going to be Jay, obviously having the inside line. It was easier for him to defend. It was easier for him to defend his position and keep his car ahead of Daniel there, as Jay's doing his best to stay ahead, just like everybody else there. As now it's Robin who's going to try and attack the car ahead, which is Roman. Roman is going to be in pressure from Robin. Robin Taylor is doing his best to overtake. Obviously it was a big gap earlier, over 6 seconds. He's brought it down, and that looks like he will have to be now try and go for another overtake. He's made quite a few overtakes this race so far. Around the outside, Robin thought for it, but obviously didn't quite have the chance to do so. Once again, Roman is going to be able to defend and to keep his position so far there, but for how long, but for how much more chance he's got, much more lap, how many more laps he's got to defend, he's got to get it there. It's going to be time, it's going to be, might be just very soon. We've seen one of them losing a position, one of them gaining a position, but obviously Roman not making it easy for Robin at all. He's doing all he can to keep Taylor behind. For how long though? Taylor's going to thought for a down the inside move, but doesn't quite happen there. Obviously, if you make a dive bomb, you're probably going to ruin yours and the other driver's race as well. But the driver ahead of them, he goes very wide, and Maximi is going to go very wide, and that is going to be a free position for both of them. Excuse me there, as that is going to be a free position for both of them, for Robin Taylor and Roman as well, as we saw Maximi going very wide there in the Chevrolet, and that is going to be party for both of them, Taylor and Roman as well. That is some interesting thing to see, that both of them would be loving it there, and I think Robin would be thinking, thank you very much, and now his chance of getting inside that top 10 is currently on. We'll have to see what is he going to be becoming for the rest of the race, as Harry still stays in second place. He doesn't quite make a risky move. He hasn't quite went for it, and I'm sure he knows that his best chance is staying behind so far in this race and really stay there for as long as he can, preserve his tyres, conserve his tyres, and save as much as grip as he got in those tyres, and reuse pretty much all of that towards the end of the race. Obviously about 21 minutes or 22 minutes still remaining in the race, so it's a long way to go. Just now, once again, the top two are giving it their all as Yuzi now has caught up to these guys. That is going to be an interesting battle to see towards the end of the race. I think Yuzi there, he was quite far behind these guys at the start of the race, but then has fought his way up the grid, and that is going to see him currently running in P3, 1.4 seconds behind Harry, but definitely is going to be good to see for a bit as we might just have a chance to get closer to these guys, and as we would get towards the very ending parts and ending times of this race, could well be a chance, as we're going to see there, almost a chance for Harry to overtake. It doesn't quite happen though, but there was almost a chance for Harry to get back into that race lead, the race lead that he lost a few laps earlier. It could well be, could have well have been a chance to overtake and retake back again the first place that was snatched up from him. As we're going to see, as we're going to have a look at the rest of it, as at the moment we're seeing William having a P4 with a plus 5 second penalty, I believe that is. And now this is an interesting battle, still going around there. I mean, Ben able to still keep his position, still keep his fifth position to himself. Ackerman from the previous many laps, from many corners, he's been trying to snatch that. He's been trying to get himself inside that top 5, but not quite possible. Ben just surely might just not have the pace, might be a little bit slower than Ackerman, but hasn't let him go, hasn't let him overtake him, hasn't let himself down, hasn't let his team down. Really keeps the position so far and is nearly captive, as Harry now gets a penalty as well. That is obviously not going to be a news he would have wanted to hear. Plus 5 seconds to his race as well. That is going to probably drop him down way outside the top 3, that's for sure. But now the pressure probably from UZ could have picked up as well, and just they are making their way now towards the very just final corner before the finish line, and that is going to be interesting to see where is it going to be ending up towards the ending part, because William has got a 5 plus 5 seconds penalty as well. It'll be interesting to see how this pans out towards the end. But what about now? It's going to be very interesting, very exciting to see how long we've got, how long everyone's got at the moment. Now 30 seconds to driver in P19, but that is not our focus. Our focus at the moment stands these two, not only these two, but the rest of them as well. Everyone pretty much inside that top 15, really closer to each other, as we see Max going very wide through those gravels, and we obviously had some drivers pit, some drivers out, as Taylor now is already ahead of Roman there. We saw Taylor fighting Roman for that position, fighting him for that chance. We saw him do that, try and do that again and again, but it wasn't quite successful on previous attempts. But the attempt, we weren't focused on him. He has quite made it, and he has kept his position to himself as well. He's overtaken him and has kept 10th place to himself so far, but the question is he going to be able to pull away? He might not be, because Roman is not going to leave him behind, and he's going to do all he can as well to attack and to put him under pressure, unless the driver Maxime could do something about it, as he made a huge mistake earlier and really gifted both of them his own position. He was the driver running in P10 earlier, made a mistake, ran very wide. Maybe he was watching the battle between these two in his mirrors, which obviously did not turn out to be good for him. Get to be seen, we'll get to be going now. Get now, as we see now, Harry once again is got a penalty, and I'm sure he'll be thinking about that. He'll be thinking about all in his race, all in his mind. What has he done? What has he, done that he shouldn't have done so? But I'm sure it's the race that happens, and at this moment, any position he'll be finishing, he will always be looking to finish in first position out on track. Doesn't matter there what it is at the end of the race. There was a little exit from him there, maybe a bit too aggressive. Could have saw him, almost saw him go very wide there and into the wall on the opposite side of the track. This battle still turning out nice, still turning out good enough, but not quite positions we wanted to see, not quite the position switching we would have hoped for. Not happening at the moment. Eckermann really trying to pressurize Ben there, but Ben is just able to defend and able to not let Eckermann through. I mean, surely he made a mistake earlier and let William through, but he's not going to do that this time. He's going to do everything he can to defend it and keep it to himself, though. Not much remaining now in this race, just 15 minutes, and he knows as soon as much as he's able to keep him behind, that is going to help him towards the end of the race, towards the ending parts, ending minutes, ending laps that you would need your position to be yours, which obviously helps you in the very ending parts. As we see, only 17 drivers currently, maybe the rest of them have retired or so, but this is a close little battle at the moment. Having a look at Will Gosselin, P14, just behind Mark Mess. Mark Mess is going to try and defend. He's doing his all as well. This is a bit of a close battle, and now once again Robin Taylor got in ahead of Roman, and he's kept his position to himself so far, and this seems to be a nice little battle which we might try and have a look at, which we might try and have a go at, which we will see for how long he's going to be able to do that. Is Mark going to be able to defend his position? Is Will going to try and take it? Is Will going to try and take one more position up for himself? Let it be outside the top 10, but he's going to try and get it on. He's going to try and get that position that he obviously, anything you can get up the order, you surely helps you, surely it makes you feel good about yourself, and the team feels good with you as well. So surely everyone's going to try and do their best in these very, very closing parts and ending parts of this race. This is another closing battle that is happening at the moment, and the battle between this battle still seems to be there, and the gap now almost increasing to 1 second there, which is interesting to see. But we're going to see about what is going to be happening as we're just getting these random cars switching to, which we obviously don't want to be switching random, but currently at the moment these are the cars we're having a look at. As now William at the moment having currently P4 for him, and he's got plus 5 seconds, but he's kept it fine. He's kept it smooth there. I think he's going to do it. And this battle, we're looking at it, but hasn't quite happened. But this is another battle as well there between Kelly and Johnny there, and I think Joel Kelly there is trying his best as well. Everybody we see closer to each other just haven't been able to go for that move, hasn't been able to go for that chance of overtaking. I think not much overtakes we've seen. Surely we've seen cars closer to each other, cars closer and many chances of overtakes, but not many have been successful. But Kelly could well have a chance this time on Yeshley there. It's going to be a big chance for him. Into one they go. Is he going to take the inside line? He's rather going to take the outside line because he's forced to do so, as Johnny's going to try and defend his inside line, and so far he's able to do that, and he's able to keep that along. Round the outside, which is going to become the inside if Johnny was going to move to the outside or go run very wide. He did a really good job defending the middle of the track, which is going to keep him stay there, which is going to keep him not give a chance to Kelly to overtake, not give a chance to Kelly to even attack him, which is a very good point, and a chance for him there, which we are going to see, and that is going to be interesting to see. Round the outside, could well be a chance for Kelly there. Is he going to go for it? They're wheel to wheel, the drivers. Who's going to be late on the brakes? Is it going to be Ashley or Kelly? Both of them almost equal on braking there, but there was Ashley just having the inside line, and the chance was moving forward earlier, and before Kelly did, and found that little traction and that confidence that he needed himself to move forward in 7th place there. Still keeping it to himself, still keeping it to him wholesale. So it's going to be interesting to get all along. It's going to be Ackerman and Ben. This battle, if you've seen these guys fight. These guys are still trying to go for that position, trying to go for the chances that he needs to go for Ackerman especially. He's going to do his all. He's going to try and do all he can. He might be having a chance a little there. Ben went a little bit wide, but doesn't quite open the door for Ackerman there. He's giving it his all as well. He's trying his 100% best to do what he can, but couldn't quite do it. And once again, back to these guys. Kelly, Ashley. Kelly or Ashley. Who is it going to be able... Who is going to be coming out on top? Who's going to be coming out in P7 or 8 or even later? Because one mistake could really just run you out of the race, run you out of the competition. But how long is it going to be now? Just 10 minutes remaining in this session, in this race, which is not long which is not much long now, which is going to be interesting to see. And there was almost a chance for Kelly there. We've seen him create those close chances the whole race there, but this was one that was very close once again, but didn't quite happen. But for how long though, and for how long he's going to be able to keep him behind? I think obviously lap after lap, Johnny's chances and Johnny's defending techniques might be going to get tired and tired. But I think at this moment the overtaking isn't quite easy unless there's a mistake from the driver ahead. It's not quite easy, or you've got ginormous pace. You've got the pace that probably the driver ahead is very, maybe a few seconds slow of. It could be an overtake, but that doesn't quite happen at this moment. With many drivers still running, still there, and Ashley could have thought for it, but just at the last moment. Ooh, that was really close once again, and I think Ashley there just once again on that last moment just closes that door. Kelly's doing his all, Kelly's giving it his all, but doesn't quite make it successful, and I think he is now pretty much praying that Johnny makes a mistake. And I think kind of Johnny's just becoming a headache for Kelly at this point, because he's doing his all, he's trying everything he can, but that obviously doesn't always end up happening how you want it to happen, with 8.5 minutes now remaining. Not too long before this race gets done, before it is underway, with some amazing battles, some great battles, some overtakings as well, which obviously maybe not as much as we would have hoped for, but enough to see. There's and that gap that we earlier talked about, that as soon as Harry loses out to Lucas, the battle is going to pretty much become very hard to see for us, as now Hanak has moved up about 1.9 seconds on this lap, over 2 seconds on the previous one. And I think obviously the penalty to Harry, it is most unlikely that he's gonna come out on top, come out in that first place, or even win. But surely a chance is a very good chance. We're gonna see there, as now Brown seems to be far away from Ackerman. Maybe Ackerman has made a mistake this time. We saw he was very close to Ben, that's for sure. Everybody watching could say as well, he was really close to Brown Ben, but he seems to be having the gap a lot behind now. Maybe he himself made a mistake which was not suitable for him, which was not he was expecting. It was maybe wanting Ben to make a mistake at this point, but quite backfired for him, and backfired in a way which would have been horrendous for him. And once again, this battle seems to be the light of this race, as they're gonna lap a car and both get past it, and everybody's gonna use it, and mostly it's gonna be these two. They're gonna do their best Obviously, Johnny's going to be thinking how much away he can get from Kelly there while they're about to lap that car, and Kelly's going to think how close he can stay to him, as if they have to get slower to that car. So it's going to be interesting as we move up now to those final cars. Final minutes of this race. Still about 6.5 minutes. So interesting to see, just a little less than 6.5 minutes, but very amazing to see. And I think this is the only battle in sight, that top 10, which is less than half a second the gap between the cars, and it's very amazing. I think obviously Brown, Ben and Eckerman, the battle was close as well, but that didn't quite happen for some reason at this moment. As we're having a look at now, these guys. Oh, that battle between Robin has moved far away from these guys, actually. That is interesting to see. Or he's in the pits, or is he? He's not in the pits, definitely. He's far away from these guys. As now, the battle once again, we're going to have a look at. Is this exciting, amazing, and a battle to look for. A battle to fight after. 5 minutes now remain. A minute after minute. Still staying behind is Kelly, still counting the time, counting the laps he is. He's going to do all he can, but that doesn't quite happen to be the case so far. He's tried to go for the overtaking moves, doesn't quite happen for him every lap, every time. He's came very close a few times, but he just stays, gets behind a few more moments, a few millimeters. He stays behind, and he obviously has to back out of it then, because if you're looking at the Alpine and the Mercedes, different configurations, obviously all GT4, but one different more than the other. Will there be a chance for Kelly now? This is really close once again around the outside. There was really close for him to make a move. It could well be a big chance for him. Into one they go. This is very close now, less than half a second. Could well be a chance for Kelly there around the outside. He's forced there, and I think there would have been a contact as well. There was very little contact maybe there between the two. Very wide there. Oh my god, that is really close. Kelly could have a chance once again. He's going to squeeze in, but I think Ashley just does everything he can to defend, and he does not give him enough room at all. I think he's doing his all to keep him behind, to keep him behind himself and not let him past at all. He's doing all he can with just not many minutes remaining now in the race. He knows that if one mistake he makes, he's probably going to regret it for the rest of the night and rest of the times until there's the next race. Very good, do some redemption work, but this is interesting. This is nice to see, just shaping up. 3.5 minutes now in this race remain. We've came from 45 to just 3 minutes now remain. It's yellow flag in this sector. Maybe a car is bunched up. A car is stopped out on track, but Ackerman, and there is a big damage for one of the Mercedes, car 44, and I think that would be Max. Maybe this Brown currently 5.1 second behind Williams, but 1.4 seconds ahead of Ackerman, and this is the only battle that has some light, that has some interest in this race, in this chance, and there could well be one more chance, a time for them, a time for an overtake for Kelly. Will this come home? Will this happen for him this time? That hasn't happened from the final few laps. He's tried everything he can. He's tried all he could, and there might have been Ashley going very wide. Kelly could try and come back at him around the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? Not quite though, but Ashley going to try and stay there and not go very wide to allow Kelly for an overtake, which is not going to happen for him so far. As we're going to have a look at some rest of the grid, as Taylor currently in P10. He's done a very good job. He's going to keep his position there, as we are going to be looking at it once again. Now Kelly's going to give it all. He's not going to back out at all. He's going to do all he can. He's going to do everything he can to really get closer to him, and probably take a chance, or any chance he's got to overtake, or even stay close at this point. I mean, now just 2 minutes remain in this race so far, which is obviously not much time at all, which could well be the case, and the thing which we will get to be and we'll have to have a look at 1 minute 40 seconds just remain in this race now. The only battle that is close within more or less than half a second, or even less than a second in this race inside that top 15 of cars. The gap now between Ackerman and Brown coming down a little bit, but not enough. But is it going to be enough towards the very end? Is it going to be enough for him to take the lead? Is it going to be enough for him to overtake? I don't think so, because previously they were following each other from a long time as well, but that didn't quite happen. That didn't quite become the success that Ackerman would have wanted, and I think maybe towards the end he made a little mistake as well, which really made him lose match time, and a lot of time that he wouldn't have wanted. And now once again this move, we've been waiting for. Just 50 seconds now remain, so probably this time, and the final time the race leader Hanak makes his way through that finish line is going to be his final lap for him, and everybody now from now on makes their way, could be their final as well. Still got 30 seconds remaining though, so might not be their final obviously, but now just very end, and now the leader is on the final lap, on the final flying, and the final time. There is going to be a chance, and this is really close between Harry and William there. That is going to be a chance. Harry's lost a position to Uzi as well. He did not realise around that all race, and now he's about to do it to Williams as well. Both of them got penalty, but who's going to be coming out on top? Who's going to be coming out to be the better driver there? And I think Williams is going to try and do that and keep his position and overtake, but Harry's not going to back out at all. Harry's going to do his all as well. He's going to give it his all. He's going to keep defending as well. He's just done enough to defend it. He's done just enough to keep it to himself. But for how long? There could well be one more chance for William there to go for an overtake, to go for a chance and take it back once again. He almost took it on this lap, but I think the final one is going to be the one that we would have to have a look at, and that could well be the case, as now that is really close once again there. William could have thought for and moved once again, but that didn't quite happen there, as the rest of the guys there very close now between Ackerman and Brown, as well as between Kelly and Ashley there. But it'll be interesting to see how good it stands. How nice is it going to be, as we're going to have a look at Hanak, the man who did not start from first position but is going to be finishing in first position. That is going to be Lucas Hanak in that Porsche. He's going to finish in P1, and that is going to be UZ. He's going to finish in P2 as well, as Harry now, he started in first position, did not have the race he would have wanted, still enough to finish in P3, and that is going to be William in P4. Both of them there, as William goes into the wall at the end of the race, as now the top 6 it is. Brown and Ackerman finishing their own races, as well as Ashley now just overtook Kelly. Sorry, Kelly just overtook Ashley there, maybe on the final lap, as we focused on the other drivers there, and that is going to be interesting to see, as well as some drivers stop and some do not. We are going to be fantastically done, and that is a great race there, as Maple's going to come home to finish 9th, and now waiting on a few drivers. I think Robin actually had a decent race in terms of overtakes, and he's going to now come home to come home and finish in P10 there. Everyone that has started this race that did not ended as down the session has ended, and that was a fantastic race to have a look at. Not many overtakes, maybe as much as we would have thought for, but still fantastic. Still as many, still enough, and still a decent entertaining race as well. Hope you guys, everyone watching, enjoyed my very first attempt at ACC. Actually, it was a decent enough one, and I'm sure we only go 4 of it from here, and better from all around here. So hope you enjoyed it. This was a great race here at Brands Hatch. Catch you next time round. We even a better race and better battles all around the circuit. So it's Zebby here, and I'll be out. I'll be out now.